What's up, Barndo bros? Welcome to Barndominium newbies. We're going to be talking about money today. Lance Hunter, big shout out to you. You wanted to know how much money we spent so far in our Barndo build. I'm going to go over everything. We're going to start with the blueprints, to permitting, to the building, to the slab, plumbing. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. We just finished the installation. We're waiting for the drywall. That's going to be another video, of course. And we're going to go over everything. So let's go. All right, let's get down to business. What I'm trying to achieve here and give you guys a price on the barn build so far without the land. All right, so first expense that we had was the blueprints, right? We found out what kind of building we wanted, American barn. We found the architect. The only thing that he really had to do is draw the blueprints for the interior of the house because the engineering is already done from American Built Structures. So the cost on that was $3,508.08. That was just for the blueprints to the interior of the house. The next expense that we had to get a survey of the whole property to submit with the permitting, and we had to get a site plan and also an elevation certificate. So the boundary survey for 4¼ acres, which I think it's a little ridiculous, but whatever. And the site plan with the elevation certificate, so you could submit everything for the permitting department, was $2,300, okay? I also had to get an elevation certificate because we're in a flood zone. So we had to get a certificate from the surveyor, and the elevation certificate was $375. So the next expense is permitting. And here in this county, in Florida, in Flagler County, they have a thing called impact fees. I don't know how it works in other counties around the country, but what they make you do here is you need to catch up with everybody else that's been paying taxes for years. So they have what it's called some impact fees. So the impact fees and the permitting came in at $11,882.25. That's where we're at, just for permitting and the impact fees. So let's talk about site work. All the site work was done by me, right? I have previous experience with land clearing and grading, and I used to do that many moons ago. That's what I did for a living. So all the labor was provided by me. All I had to do is pay for diesel. I have friends with skid steers and excavators, and I was able to borrow from them, and I paid diesel. I'm going to figure about $650 in diesel for the site work, but I had to bring a lot of dirt in. I bought about 92 loads of dirt because I built a pad that was 150 feet wide by 100 feet deep. So when you walk up to the house, it looks like the house is up in a hill, and that's what I wanted. You don't have to put that much dirt in, obviously. So the amount that we spent on fill dirt was $21,000. Get ready for this, $21,590. That was for 100 loads of dirt. Actually, it was like 103 loads of dirt. $21,590. That's where we're at on fill dirt. So after your site work is done, before they pour the slab, we have to hire a plumber because we have to do the first rough. Well, the plumber is going to charge me $10,000. That's for the whole thing, including first rough, second rough, and trim. Does not include any faucets or anything. I got to buy all that. So we're about $8,000 deep now. The first rough was $4,000. The second rough was another $4,000. And then the $2,000 that we owe him will be paid when he does the finish work and the trim work at the end. Now let's talk about concrete. Right? Well, concrete here where I'm at in Florida, it's about $200 a yard. It's very expensive. I have a friend of mine, as I've told you guys before. His name is Paul, top of the line concrete. He's a great guy, helped me out a lot. And he did both slabs. So we did the slab for the building, for the Barndo build, and we did the slab for the outbuilding where you've seen the video previously. Those two slabs came in at around $31,000. That was including labor and concrete. But we got it minus $10,000 because the garage is about $10,000. So the slab for the Barndo build alone was $21,000. So before we poured the slab, I actually ordered the metal building from American Built Structures. It takes about 5 weeks for them to deliver the building after you pay for it. I just made a video about the building, how much we paid, and I was wrong on that video because now I got the real numbers. I actually thought I paid a lot more than when we paid. For this building, for Mary Built Structures, we paid $67,080.57, not $72,000 like I said in the previous video. That's for about 2,500 square feet. I think it's 2,580 square feet for the Barndo, which is all living space. That's the building delivered. That does not include installation or the erecting of the building. As I mentioned in previous videos, the company that erected my building was Green Construction. It was Keegan Green. And again, I was wrong. I gave you the wrong price on the last video. I'm sorry. So I said it was 36, but it's not. Keegan Green charged me $32,000 to erect this building, but that includes installing all the doors, windows, roof, everything, and dried in. With those $32,000 that you pay the metal erecting company, you don't have to worry about renting a boom lift or any machinery. So they bring their own stuff, their own scissor lifts, and the price of $32,000 was complete price. There was nothing else to pay for. So let's talk about windows and doors. I've been using Lowe's a lot, and I've been saying this. Now I have a pro account with Lowe's, and they send it out anything above $1,500. They send it out to VSP, which they put out a bid, and you could save anywhere between sometimes 10, sometimes 15. I have saved as much as 23% from retail. So the doors and windows came in at $10,981.36. That's the doors and windows purchased at Lowe's. They're all vinyl windows. We have a nice front door that costs us about $4,600, so that's half of the cost of all the windows and the doors. So after the building is dried in, that's when the framing starts. A Plus Home Improvements came and did my framing. They provided the labor. The labor was $14,000, and the total amount for the lumber was $7,124.91. That was just for lumber for the stick framing inside our Barndo. And because we decided to live out in the country, what happens is there's no water and there's no sewer connection. So guess what? We have to do a septic system. Septic systems are expensive these days, especially when you're building a 5-bedroom home. Our drain field is huge. So our septic system came in at $14,370. Now, let me tell you, these guys were the cheapest guys I found. I made calls to 3 or 4 different companies, and they were all between $20,000 to $22,000. So one of them even asked me for $25,000, which I thought it was ridiculous. So the company that I found, their name is Outhouse Septic, and they're out of St. Augustine, Florida. They were the most affordable, and they were great people to work with. Well, let's talk about air conditioning. I found a company here locally. As a matter of fact, the gentleman that came here and worked in my house with the AC lives down the street from me. He's my neighbor. The company's called Duck Divers. They weren't the cheapest, but they were the ones that I felt most comfortable with. Okay? I had a guy come in here and give me a price, and he was basically, I don't know, probably like $15 or almost $2,000 cheaper than Duck Divers. I was not comfortable with that guy. He came in here, he started making everything so complicated because it's like, oh, this is a barndominium, you know, it's complicated. You're going to have to do this, and, you know, I'm going to have to do this. And it just, to be honest with you, he just pissed me off. So by complicating things, he lost the job. I went ahead with Dan from Duck Divers. Very comfortable with them. They did a great job, and they charged me $16,500 to do the whole AC system for this Barndo. That's with one AC machine, one hair handler, 4-ton, 16 SEER. We're going to be saving some money on energy. Our AC unit is a run-true, which is made by Train. Basically, from what I hear, all the internals it's a Train, except the exterior is a little different. But it's a good AC system from what I understand. So let's talk about electric. Dear Lord, I didn't think that electric wire was so expensive. I don't know what's going on these days, but I was able to find an electrician where I bought the material and he provided labor, which worked out for both of us. So, material for the first rough for electrical, I spent $4,300.77. And the electrician charged me $8,000 for labor. So that's where we're at for electricity. I think I saved some money. To be honest with you, everybody was asking me almost $20,000 for the whole job. So I'm right around $12,700 for the first rough, and all they have to do is do the trim work. I think I'm ahead of the game. So Maybe there's something you could work out with an electrician in your area. See if you want to buy your own material. Again, I've been using Lowe's a lot. I have a pro account and I got about 15 to 16%, sometimes even a little bit more on the wire and all the electric stuff. So make sure you shop around. These big box stores sometimes could beat, even like the builder supply stores. They've been beating Builder's First Choice, which is down here in Florida. It's where all the builders go to get any type of lumber, doors, windows. They have beat their price every single time I went over there and I got a VSP price with the pro account at Lowe's. We're up to the installation part. We did not want to go with conventional installation. We went with spray foam. But before we did the spray foam, when Keegan Green was putting up the building, we needed a vapor barrier. Well, I bought this vapor barrier, which is proprietary patent something. It's aluminum foil with closed cell in between that's a 1/4 inch thick, and it's R11 insulation already. We didn't go with closed cell foam because we already had the R11 value from that vapor barrier that we put up. We went with open cell, which is more suitable for the South here in the United States. So if you live in southern states, open cell foam is the way to go. Don't waste your money with closed cell. So we went with that, and the building inside, we got 3.5 inches on the walls, 5.5 on the ceilings, and I believe that they charged me about $8,000 to do that job. I know it's a great deal, but you could find it. Just shop around. Make sure that you call different people. Make sure you call different companies. Listen, I know that $8,000 seems an impossible deal. Yes, Claudio gave me a great deal, but it's not unusual that people will give you great deals. All you need to do is make a couple of phone calls and get some estimates. Don't go with the first person that you call, because the first person that I called to erect my building wanted $53,000 to erect a building that cost me $62,000. That ain't happening. So make sure that you shop around and you get at least 3 to 4 different estimates. So lastly, we're going to be talking about drywall. So I contacted about 3 or 4 local companies for an estimate. They came over, they gave me an estimate. I contacted the one that was the cheapest, and he gave me a price of about $8,700 labor to do ready for paint. So that means hanging, that means mudding, taping, texture, ready for paint. $8,700. He told me that he had to charge me a little bit more because of the height of the ceilings. Remember I said that I have about 23-foot ceilings in the main area? That's why he's charging me about $26 a sheet. We used about 280, almost 300 sheets actually, of drywall, and the labor came in at $8,700. When he sent me the quote for the material, Sam was very honest with me. He said, listen, man, my supplier is out of control. I really don't know why stuff is so expensive. Why don't you give Lowe's a call? We don't talk about Lowe's again. Why don't you give Lowe's a call and see what kind of price they give you? I'll give you a material list. You take it over there and see what they give you. Because just for the material, Sam gave me a price of like $8,300, around $8,300. Well, I went to Lowe's, the same material list that he had. I gave it over to my buddy Justin that works there. He's been helping me a lot over in the pro desk. He sends it to VSP. Guess what? Came back with $6,200, $6,200 for the same material that was going to cost me $8,300. We ended up paying $6,828.16 for material for the drywall, and for labor, as I mentioned before, $8,700. So as we close this video, let me give you some pointers on how we were able to be under budget so far, because we are, believe it or not. I know we spent a lot of money, but we're still under budget. All right. The total budget for our barn build is about $427. Okay, we're going to be way below that. And the way you achieve this is making a lot of phone calls, my friends. Do not just accept the price that one person gives you. You need to make separate phone calls. Call 2, 3, 4 people to give you a quote, and you go ahead and pick the best. Do not pick your contractors by price. Make sure you get some references. Make some phone calls. How do they work? Is it good? Is it bad? So if they have nothing to hide, they will give you phone numbers from people that they have done work before, and you could cross-reference everything that they say. I don't always go with the cheapest person. As a matter of fact, for a lot of the jobs here in the Barndo, I did not pick the cheapest person. I picked the person that I felt most comfortable with, and I picked the person that has the best quality work. All right, guys, take it easy. Please subscribe, share this video. See you guys next time.